RailingSource.com here, and I'm looking at the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch Professional. The chrono with a 42mm case size. This watch has been around for a long time, slowly evolving over the years, little by little. Don't want to change too much about it. It's a pretty iconic watch, and you don't want to mess with something that is quite as historic as this. As most of you know, this is the, how do they describe it? The first watch worn on the moon, as it's etched into the back here. Flight qualified by NASA for all manned space missions. There's the additional writing on it. It's a handwind movement because that's the original movement that was in this watch. It's the they call it now the Omega 1861, and I don't think it's exactly the same as the movement that was in the original one. There have been upgrades and changes to the movement over the years, and this one is the Hesalite crystal version. I have had the sapphire crystal version, and I think I've reviewed it as well in the past. I ended up trading that watch a little prematurely. I had an opportunity to snag another watch that I wanted even more at the time, so I traded it, and now I just had an opportunity to pick up another one, so I grabbed this one. This is the latest version of the Speedmaster Moonwatch. It comes in a giant box that's just unreal. It's so big, but I guess they're increasing the price every year or two, so they have to justify that value somewhere. It also comes now with a NATO strap, a Velcro strap, a loop, and a strap changing tool. So you can do all the strap changes yourself if you don't like the bracelet. The bracelet also has been improved in the last couple years here. Then they have screw-in links here, and it's also a thicker bracelet. It's funny because when I first picked up this watch years ago, I found it was kind of a little bit on the small side. I wouldn't complain about it, but it was a watch that I felt I would have appreciated if it was just a touch bigger. And now, somehow with the thicker bracelet on it, I feel like it's the right size. Either that or my taste have changed. But while I used to feel that this watch was too small, I now feel that it is perfect. So, but having said that, listing it as a 42mm watch may be misleading to some people because if you're familiar with Omega's sizing, it always sounds bigger than it looks. So at 42mm, I still think that this watch is pretty much equivalent of a 40mm Rolex, a current model Rolex like the Sub. It pretty much feels exactly the same size on my wrist, even though a Sub's only listed at 40 mils. So that's something to consider. This one only has 50-meter water resistance, I believe. It doesn't say on it, but that's what I have in my notes here. So 50-meter water resistance. And the Hesalite crystal, I talked a little bit about it before. It's plastic, basically. It's a type of plastic. It can be polished with polywatch. It does scratch easily, but it gives you a nice warm glow to the dial that you don't see with sapphire. And also, of course, the edges have that curved look to it, which is kind of a neat vintage feel. Yeah, like I said, if it does scratch, you can polish it up pretty easily with polywatch. It does take a bit of work. You do got to sit there for 5-10 minutes scrubbing it. Your fingers get a little tired, but it is fixable by, you know, at home with a little bit of elbow grease. Hand wind, chronograph movement. The seconds is the large hand here, and then of course you have the minutes there and the hours there, which is pretty much a standard for this movement. And my cell phone is ringing right now, but I'm not going to answer it, so I'll just show this and reset. The hands are luminous and the indexes are luminous, but they're not the brightest. They are smaller stick markers. It's got the tachometer bezel, which is kind of a iconic Speedmaster styling look that you'll see on all the Speedmasters, even the special edition ones. So But overall, I've been really happy with this watch. I'm glad I got reacquainted with it. I'm glad I got a chance to get one again, especially this newer version here with all the updates on it. And I think I'm keeping this one for a little bit longer than I kept the last one for. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the review of the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch Professional 42mm chrono. Alright, have a good one.